Bramble is a dark fantasy adventure game based in a Nordic setting. So you play as Olle. He's the main character, and he is a very shy little boy, afraid of things.
A nightmare woke him up. Frightened by his mother's bedtime story, he searched for his sister's comfort.
We like to do a little bit like Disney, but not Disney. So we like to take that fairy tale thing and make it really dark.
But she was nowhere to be found. The Bramble covers all where darkness has taken hold.
We are doing platformer, we are doing big boss fights, and a lot of narrative.
Follow the light. You will find what you are searching for within the mountain.
Yes, anything also that is like very visually pleasing type of games.
That is what happens when you do not listen to your mother.
We have puzzles, we have platforms segments. So we believe that if you like Brothers, if you like Little Nightmares, if you like narrative games all over, you will like this.
So we're going to take a look at the first section, the first level of the game that some of you might have seen in some trailers, but now you will see it for the first time, the whole first level without interruption.
What we will see basically is the first level of the game and some gameplay of it that will set up the rest of the game.
So here is the main character, Olle. He just woke up from a terrible nightmare, and he just trying to find his sister because his sister is not laying in her bed. So he's just looking around, trying to find clues. And here is one of the many books that will be throughout the whole game that is telling a story.
There once was a girl who snuck out of her bedroom window at night, even though her mother had told her not to.
So this was like a peek to the sister.
She went into the forest, and at first it welcomed her with warmth and a promise of adventures. But soon, the forest seemed to grow colder and darker. The girl was afraid, and she wanted to go home. But Bramble crawled around her arms and legs, and she could not get away. And the girl was never seen again.
So he wants to go look for her.
That is what happens when you do not listen to your mother. Especially you, Lillemor, their mother had said before kissing them goodnight.
We're trying to introduce a little bit about what kind of character Olle is. So he's like peeking out of the room, out to the hallway. It's too dark out in the hallway, so he doesn't dare to walk out. But then eventually he finds that his sister has sneaked out of the window because he finds the cloth that is connected to the window. So that's when he built up his courage because he really wants to find his sister because he just doesn't want to be without her.
Yeah, and just that book we saw is a perfect example of how the folklore worked. The parents don't want Lillemor, the sister, the older sister, to get out in the woods and get lost. So they made up this story about something really bad creeping around in the forest to make her afraid. Unfortunately, that makes the sister more adventurous. That makes the boy that you play, Olle, more afraid. And the thing is in this game is that these old stories actually come to life. So we had a demo out for a couple of months now. It is about one of the creatures that we are working with called Necken. And for all of you that haven't played the demo yet, you should play the demo. But for all of you that haven't done it yet, we will show some glimpse of it. Then hopefully you will play it after that.
So just right in the beginning of the game, he's just been caught by a troll, but he was saved by the sunlight because trolls get turned into stone when the sun comes out. So he just finally made it. So he's now trying to just traverse through the environment. And also in this demo, this is also when you get introduced about like how big the world is around him. It's not that he's very small, it's the world is very big around him. So he is like a normal sized boy, but the rest of the world is just huge. And also the setting in the beginning is for us to really show how beautiful the Nordic environment is with all the types of flowers. And also introducing this very beautiful song, which is very famous here in Sweden. A lot of us sing this at the end of the year or the end of school year. It's very common.
And if you see these white flowers on this place, we actually have those white flowers growing outside our office. So one day, 4 years ago, we went out and photogrammetry them and then brought them into the game. So that is a real life asset that grow outside our office.
And as you can see, a lot of the creatures and animals in this game, there are a lot bigger. So a lot of them are very friendly, very cute. But of course, not all creatures in this game are going to be friendly towards you. But this hedgehog is definitely a friend, especially since you have this little fishing rod with a little worm on it, so he can move forward. You kind of lure him to go forward with you. You can take your way across this lake.
And this is a thing in the game that also is important, that you can find every creature we have in the game, almost every creature, as wooden statues and collect them. And in the end, you will know why you collected them as well during the journey. But that is something that makes you want to explore a bit, to find all the creatures as small wooden statues.
The caves show you a little bit of the darker side of the game. So at the beginning, we saw this beautiful light scenery, and now we're in the more eerie, creepy cave that is the complete opposite of what you saw before and experienced before. So you want to know what happened here, where do all these cages come from, who lives here, and you will not know. And this is also when we introduce a lot more platforming, which will be a lot more also during the game, not only the demo. So yeah, this is where we introduce that.
We like to play with the perspective. Now you can see that it looks a little bit like 2D screen with the 3D perspective, a little bit like 2.5D. But we also, like what you saw in the beginning, we like to put it in all 3D as well and make you traverse bigger areas also. We have this camera setting where we play around with the perspective a lot.
You also walk around with this little stone that emits light, which is called the Spark of Courage. That is something that you will find very early in the game, which will be very helpful to you in the whole game overall. So in this part, it's very helpful so you can see more in the dark cave. And these runes are like foreshadowing what is about to come. So it's like a small snippet of the story of Necken.
And we do things like this with every bigger creature we have to try to foreshadowing, try to tell a little bit about their lore before and after you meet them, to tell their story as well, because everything is not just dark and light, that some creatures are really bad because they are bad people. They have a backstory on why they are like they are, and we try to communicate that.
And one thing about the Necken is that he is luring his victims with beautiful music, so you get into this trance, you start dancing towards the water, and that's what happens to Ole here. John Bauer has been a huge inspiration for us.
John Bauer is this famous painter back in the days. I think he lived like 100 years ago. Unfortunately, he drowned way too early, but he has done images that almost everyone in Sweden recognize. Just looking at that painting, they can say, this is John Bauer.
So like you have this creature called Lemus that is in the demo. He is inspired by one of Bauer's paintings where you can see a creature kind of lurking in the background, just staring down at you.
And here you actually can see Necken in the background, and he's seeing you as well. That is the first introduction to him. And we like to play with, we can hit you with the creepy stuff even during the day. We will do it during the night as well, but you are not safe during the day either.
That scene has been with us since 2018, when we had a completely different Necken model and a completely different main character even. In the beginning, we had a gnome as the main character. That we switched out to this little boy instead. Yeah, so this is the first introduction to Necken, really close up. And a lot of people get very surprised, and that's exactly the type of reaction that we want.
This is the start of a cat and rat game for the rest of the demo, where he tries to eat you and you try to flee away.
And have this sense of panic from going from 0 to 100. Especially during this scene where you're in the mud, you're also a lot slower. So you can see him almost catching up to you, and makes you feel very uncomfortable that he's so close to you.
And something that we didn't think about, but when we saw all the TikTok videos and YouTube videos, was that people really like that section, because it felt like a nightmare when you're running in mud and you don't get anywhere and the big scary monster are after you.
Yeah, that's all from us, and thank you for taking time to join us. Enjoy the game, enjoy the demo.
And if you want to follow us more, go into Twitter and Facebook, and please wishlist if you feel like this is something for you. We look very much forward to the release and to see you play.
Bye!